So we have to back up a little bit to deal with Serapis. So when the Greeks took over, the Ptolemies didn't get the respect that the Nasut Biti got. The Nasut Biti was like a Necher-like figure. The Ptolemy was the king, you know, without his military, there was nobody listening to him. And nobody came in the multitudes to listen to him, okay? So he didn't get the same type of respect. So he commissioned the priest in ancient Kemet to develop and make him godlike. And so what they did is they took Zeus, they took Asar and Haru, and they mixed it all together with a European face, and they created this new person called Serapis. And Serapis was like their new god. He was the head of the pantheon. And so the king now was under the guise and the rulership of Serapis. And so that became the prototype. Those followers became Coptics. So I want you to understand. So Coptic Christianity came out of this development of Serapis, a amalgamation of the Greek, Roman, and African emperors all mixed into one divinity. And Serapis then became the prototype later for Jesus. Okay, so now, when we're creating Serapis, remember, they took existing things that already took. So Zeus, now you have to understand, they took Zeus was the head of the pantheon, right? But Zeus comes from Ethiopia and has to go back to Ethiopia and be charged every year. They have a big festival. Now that's kind of funny. A god from your nation has to go to another nation to be charged. Okay. Then they took Asar, because everybody, you couldn't get rid of Asar. Asar was the great black, the first king, you know, like that. And then they took Haru, higher consciousness, this concept, and all pull it into this one angelic being. Okay. So now they create, and they make him in the image of the white Greeks. So that's the key. There is no image of a white god here like that until this. In Egypt, in Kemet. So now they got a white god who's on parallel with Haru and Asar. So now we convert these Negroes, if I use the expression, you take the Kemetu and make them into Negroes. Negroes are not born, they are created, like Angel Food Cake and Stephen Fletcher, okay? So you get the idea. So now they've created this whole Negro class, these Coptics now, who are following Serapis. And they began preaching on the corners. They're converting people over. And then there was a division, because as they start during the Nicene Conference, when they were developing the character of Jesus, the Africans had a problem. They said, no, we know this. This ain't true. All of this stuff, y'all just made this stuff up. And so when Constantine asked for a vote on who's going to follow the new teachings, the Africans who rebel were killed or ostracized. So he would say, okay, raise your hand if you disagree. And everybody who raised their hand, he would send his soldiers, they cut their heads off. So this was a bloody meeting. They don't tell you. You had heads all over the place at the meeting. Then he said, okay, we're gonna have another vote. Now, how many of y'all are down for the new program? Okay, and then that's the real division of the Coptic church. So the Coptic church now moved into Ethiopia. And so that's why Jesus, everybody got an afro. You know, you got to hold all the saints as black with afros and everything. So the Coptic church moved into Ethiopia. The Coptic church started in Egypt. So I need people to understand. Right now it's the minority in Egypt because of Islam. But the Coptic church started in Egypt from Serapis and the continuation of that. And then you have the division. So now the Coptic church became a total separate entity. Then the science stopped. We stopped having pre-scientists at that point. So the modern world doesn't create pre-scientists the way we did in ancient times. If you look at the pre-scientists in Asia, pre-Christianity and Judaism, the prototype all came from Kemet. So the Shaolin monk is a master in the martial arts, but he's a Buddhist priest. The Buddhist priests that you see in Thailand and all that, all are masters in the art. So it was all one package, the mental, physical, and spiritual, those 5 domains I talk about. were being kind of taught in the Kemetic spiritual system. So as it spread along Southern Asia, all those priests that later became Buddhists and stuff like that kept it intact. Their dress comes directly from Kemet. You know, the one arm out, you know. All of that comes out of ancient Kemet, okay? So I need people to see that. Only when you have the modern day Christians and then Islam comes out of Christianity. That's all right? So they still have the same old, they go by the Old Testament. They still believe in Moses and all of that, you know, they all of that. So I just need people to know. So when people ask like, Infodisa, you're a pre-scientist, but you're doing martial arts. I'm saying no. To develop something and not be able to defend it is like not having it at all. You want to be able to walk through the jungle, walk through the rainforest with no fear, so that I can teach what I need to teach.